What is up, everybody? Welcome to Ride Review and welcome to Amsterdam. Check this out. We are right smack in the middle of the city center now. Amazing, beautiful architecture here. I mean, this whole city has some really fun architecture, and there's bikes everywhere. We've got a zillion of them locked up along the canal right here. People riding them everywhere. There's lots of small vehicles too, like this one. You can kind of see them turning around out there. These little sort of like micro cars all over the place. There's mopeds everywhere. Now, Amsterdam is the best city for cycling in the world. It has the best infrastructure. It can be a little terrifying cycling here, honestly. Now, I'm from the United States, and I've been cycling a lot my whole life, and I actually live in Fort Collins, Colorado, which is one of the best cities for cycling in the US. But compared to here, I mean, oh my goodness, this is just night and day difference. It's been a little bit terrifying trying to learn the rules of the road and ride here among all of the fearless Dutch cyclists, because fearless they are. They go pretty much everywhere and expect people to, watch out for them, get out of the way. There's bike paths and protected bike lanes, and I mean, pretty much like bike roads all over the place. And you can also, you can go pretty much anywhere cars can go to. Like on a bike, you can get anywhere in the city. So a lot of people here don't even bother owning cars. So there's a lot of cyclists you have to watch out for, but there's also other small vehicles that you have to watch out for in the bike lanes, bike roads, that kind of a thing. Mopeds can ride there, especially if there's not a vehicle lane for them to be in. And also they have these little they call them like micro cars. These little just tiny miniature cars that are probably about a similar power to a moped, with just one or maybe two people crammed inside there, but they can go where bikes can go at a lot of places as well too. So even when you're riding the bike lane, you might have a little moped or a little mini car come zooming along past you. So you really got to kind of keep your head on a swivel. But it's been so much fun riding here. I have just gone all over the place. It's the only city I've been to where I felt like I could kind of ride without making a plan and just take off and take random turns, go wherever looks interesting, and I can always take my bike there. There's no, I don't end up somewhere where it's like, oh no, bikes aren't allowed here, this is unsafe. So it's very cool to be able to do that. Now, I spent the first bit of my trip exploring the city on a Van Moof, but then I traded that in and got my hands on a Cowboy electric bike, and what a Cowboy it is too. This is their newest model that basically just came out. Like, I think it just hit production, and they're starting to ship some of them out. The one that I have here, this is actually a pre-production model, so they told me it might be a little rough around the edges or have some issues, but it has been fantastic. This is called the Cross. Now there's two variants, step through and a high step. I of course have the step through here. This is Cowboy's first all-road electric bike. All-road meaning like all-terrain, you can go everywhere. So what makes it all-road? Well, it's got a suspension fork, inverted suspension fork up here, and then there's also some rear suspension in the form of a suspension seat post, which doesn't add a ton, but that's actually got quite a bit of travel on it. And it makes more of a difference than I thought it would. Plus you have a little bit wider tires on here. They're 60 millimeters in width, which, it looks like it's probably about like a 2.6 or a 2.8 inch for my fellow Imperial measurement system people. So these have a good volume of air in there, which also helps to absorb some of the impacts. Now, that makes this thing off-road capable. Not anything too crazy, but trails, exploring, that kind of thing. But it's also handy in European cities because a lot of the streets here are cobblestone and can actually be quite rough if you don't have suspension. Not that this stops a lot of people. A lot of the bikes that you see around here don't have suspension. They're cruisers or even road bikes with fairly thin tires. But if you're not used to riding on that kind of a rough surface like me, then having the extra just shock absorption capabilities of the Cross here is a lifesaver. This is also Cowboy's, I think it's the most connected, kind of advanced technology bike. There goes one of the mopeds out there. One of their more advanced and just technology connected bikes that they have made. So it pairs with their app, of course, which has a lot of just nice features for tracking your rides. It pairs with the bike via Bluetooth, and you use that to lock and unlock the bike. So if somebody starts messing with it when it's locked, then the lights will start flashing on it. I don't know that it has an audible alarm. but it you know, it has a basic alarm system built in, and also if it's locked and then somebody starts moving it, you get a little notification on your phone. They'll say, hey, movement detected. You can track it. They have stuff in the app for reporting it as stolen and recovery, which is an awesome touch. It can track your rides so that you can see information on that in the app. There's also some other social stuff in there for seeing rides from other riders, even connecting with and finding other people to ride with. This one's got a bigger battery capacity as well, 50% increase in battery. I believe it's 500 and something watt hours now, and it's removable. This is awesome. So you can bring it inside with you to charge it, and even if the battery is removed, the basic GPS tracking and alarm system of the bike still works. I think it has an internal battery that can hold a charge for up to a week or two. So even if you bring the battery inside, you can still have that relative security with locking the bike up. Now this one does not have any kind of a built-in cafe lock, which is why I've got this extra lock on here that the shop loaned me, just so I can put it through the rear tire in the frame, or lock it to something sturdy if I can. But it's actually kind of hard to find places to lock it up. I mean, they have lots of stuff like this where you can lock it securely, but they're almost always full of bikes, and you see just all these extra bikes all over the place that are just kind of locked to themselves, which if you're running in somewhere, eating a quick lunch or something, that's probably enough security. But if you're parking it overnight, you want something a little bit more secure, bring the bike inside. There's actually places to do that here. There's these all over the place. There's these fancy underground parking garages where you come in, you have to kind of badge in and out. You can use your transit pass or just a debit or credit card, and just badge in, go and park your bike securely, and then when you pick it up, same thing to get it out. And a lot of them are free for like the first 24 hours or so. There's security attendants there 24/7. So that's what I've been doing, because when you have a more expensive e-bike, somebody still might want to try to steal it. This one's, people will probably guess this is an electric bike. I mean, you can see the battery pretty easily on here. And also there's not that many people on e-bikes here. There's a decent amount, but everyone here that's on a bike, it tends to be kind of like a beat up old cruiser like this. Or you see people on a giant fat tire bike, and then there's usually 2 or 3 people just piled up on there. So people are going to recognize this as an e-bike, but I think people also, this stuff like like the Cowboy, and I was talking about this with the Van Move 2. These are pretty recognizable brands that have some pretty good GPS tracking and theft recovery stuff in them. So I like to think that thieves kind of figure out after a while not to mess with this brand, just because it's probably not worth the effort. Okay, let's run out just the rest of the components and everything on the Cross here. 250 watt rear hub motor right back here, and this is a single speed with a Gates carbon belt drive right here. I love these things. They're sturdy, they're durable, they require pretty much no maintenance compared to like a chain and derailleur setup. And 1 speed for a class 1 e-bike that goes up to 20 miles per hour, 32 kilometers per hour, and one that doesn't have a throttle. You don't really need those extra speeds. They can be nice, especially if you live in a really hilly area, but here in Amsterdam it's super flat, so you don't really need them. And then there's almost no controls up here in the cockpit. We got the classic kind of Dutch style swept back handlebar here, and then there is a mount right here for a quad lock phone case. So I guess maybe the one kind of a downside with this bike is you do need the app to control it if you want to change your power modes. I mean, there's not really that much else you can do. You can put your power mode to off, or to eco, power saver, or adaptive, which will just automatically adapt the power based on how hard you're pushing on the pedals, what the riding terrain is like. It is a torque sensor that is hidden inside the bottom bracket down here, so it's nice and responsive. The motor's almost completely silent. Hydraulic disc brakes on here, so you get some excellent stopping power, both the front and the rear. So they're definitely going for like the simplicity of the controls here. And I have honestly left it in eco almost the whole time, just because I have been trying to also get some exercise while I'm out here. But most of their riders just leave it in adaptive and don't really think about it. And I believe this is just a one size bike. Now I've got the seat post all the way up at the maximum height. It's a good, kind of right in the middle size for fitting most people. I'm pretty tall, 6'3" tall, which is about 190 centimeters, 1.9 meters. So here is, a look at the sizing on it for me. So it's kind of like a standard forward riding position here. I can just about get my legs fully extended down at the bottom, like not quite, but it's close enough that it feels pretty comfortable. And I mean, the overall ride feeling is awesome. I like the swept back handlebars, having just the suspension on here and everything. Like it's very comfortable and also a very smooth ride feeling. Like some of that is the the suspension and the big balloon tires, but then also what helps is the drive system, having the carbon belt on it. Super smooth, efficient, silent, the whole bike. Like you hardly hear anything when you're riding. The fenders are also like very securely on there. Very just like excellent build quality overall. All right, so if you've never been to Amsterdam and you want to see what the cycling experience is like, then buckle up because we are going for a ride. Now, often in my ride tests, I will try to kind of like talk and discuss things while I'm riding, but I don't really feel safe doing that here just because there's so much going on. There's so much to be watching out for all the time. So I'm just gonna put my chest cam on and I'm gonna just cruise around. I don't really have a route planned out. I'm just gonna kind of circle around the city center, maybe get out to some further out parts of town so that you can see just what the cycling infrastructure and experience is like all over the place here. And yeah, let's do it. Well, I couldn't resist stopping here. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I just keep stumbling across so much cool architecture, cool parks. Just awesome areas out here. Such a fun city. Okay guys, thanks for coming along on this little adventure with me. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the new Cowboy Cross. Even though this one is one of their pre-production models, it's incredibly smooth and refined already. It's a fantastic bike for getting around the city and being able to explore out on some trails as well. Now, unfortunately, I do have to return it to the shop now and get myself back to the States. But if you do have questions about this bike, I'd be happy to answer them. Let me know down in the comments section. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Ride safe. Catch you in the next video.